What's up, YouTube? Welcome to episode 7 of Falling Forward. We are doing something new. I'm going to tell you something amazing. This is going to be story time / testimony time. I'm going to tell you guys how Jesus Christ, the best friend, the homie, opened the door for me to play big time football at West Virginia University. Go Mountaineers. And I'm just going to tell you how God did it. So listen, stay tuned, listening to this complete and full story. Just because the story's so long, I'm going to start off at playing Division II football at the University of New Haven in Connecticut. Yes, I was playing football at the University of New Haven in Connecticut, and one of the funny things is that God does some amazing things, makes some connections that you have no idea why He's doing it until the full story's over. So anyways, I'm playing football at the University of New Haven. And at this point, I'm not starting. And yes, I'm a good player, but I'm not starting. And the dream of going to the NFL was done in my book. I mean, at church, they had prophesied it. Yes, my church prophesied. They prophesied that I'd be in the NFL or I'd go to the NFL. And at this point, I was like, hey, God, look, it's obviously not going to happen. I'm at this Division II school. I'm not even starting. I don't see it happening for myself. And sure enough, there was a minister. He's actually a prophet that called up. And, I went to him and asked him like, hey, can you prophesy into my life? And he spoke into my life and he said, God is going to begin to bring back old dreams that you had. Now, if anybody knows me, there's not many dreams I had. God gave me my dreams in order to what to be life. And when he said that, it hit me really hard. I was messed up for a week or so just thinking, what dreams could there possibly be that you want to restore, God? Jesus, what is it that you want me to do? What is this dream that you're trying to bring back? And the only thing that can come to my mind was Jesus. It has to be the NFL. But I was like, there's no way. I don't see that happening. I don't see it for myself. I don't know how in the world I can be in the NFL. So at the end of the day, I was at this Division II school. And every semester, yes, I was on a partial scholarship, but every semester, I'd watch my mother scrounge for money to pay my tuition every semester. And I looked at my mother struggling. I had two other brothers in college at this time, and I looked at my mother struggle. And I said to myself, my mother cannot pay for me to go to this school. Even though I have a partial scholarship, it's a private college. My mother cannot struggle to pay for this. And I looked at her and I said, nah, we can't do this. I'm not going to keep having you struggle like this. And I'm not going to be walking around swimming in debt all my life from school loans. So I told my mother, I was like, look, I'm going to leave this school. And it's so funny at University of New Haven. It's always hilarious the way God does this, but every lunch woman I have ever had or lunch lady loves me. Why? Because I love eating and I appreciate all of their food. Mix it up, mingled, I'll take it. So the lunch lady loved me, and she told me her son was playing Division II football because University of New Haven was a Division II school. Her son was playing at a Division II school, and he left that school and ended up going to a big Division I program, and he ended up walking on and playing for that team, eventually becoming a starter. And that gave me enough faith. And I said, God, you know what? It's time for me to go. And I remember going to the school and telling my coaches, hey, I have to leave. I'm going to transfer out of this school. And that was the beginning of things to come. So mind you, I didn't leave University of New Haven to play bigger football or to go to the NFL. The prophecy was there. I said that was great. I thought it was a blessing. I didn't think much into it. All I knew was that this school is too expensive. And I cannot have my mother struggle. I'm struggling. I said, we can't do this. So I took a leap and I left, not intending to go and play bigger football, Division I football, big time football. I just knew I was going to leave and we weren't going to struggle anymore. And I had an unmovable faith. And I said, God is going to handle me. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what school I'll end up at. I don't know what's going to happen, but I am leaving this school. I took a leap of faith. When I left the University of New Haven, I had finished up my school year, so I had officially been at the University of New Haven 2 years. I went home for the summertime, and my mother looked at me and she said, "What are you going to do?" And I told her, I said, "Mom, don't worry about it. God has got me." In the midst of that summer, I connected with my spiritual leader. His name is Apostle Milton and Apostle Bernadine. I spent the entire summer praying and fasting with them. I worked 3 jobs, and I would work out every morning around 5, 6 a.m. I would work out in the mornings around 5, 6 a.m. I would then go ahead and work at a camp. I was a summer camp counselor. Then after that, I would go ahead and work at Toys R Us. Then I'd drop a kid home that his mother would pay me for. And then I'd link up with my spiritual leader, Apostle Milton, and Apostle Bernadine, and I'd go ahead and pray. And this was a routine every day. I'd fast at least once a week. And this was a regimen that I lived by because I was so determined for God to bless me. Some nights I would go to sleep, barely sleep, even because I was praying through the night. And I was like, "God, I took this leap of faith. You have to bless me. I don't know what's going to happen, but I refuse to take struggle behind me. I needed something new." With no direction to go at all, I went and asked my church, and I said, "People, please pray for me and tell me whatever God tells you, because I have no idea where I'm going or what I'm doing." And in the midst of that, something amazing happened. Get this, people. When your back is pushed against the wall, you're gonna do something crazy for God. So a little girl in my church at the time, she was little, her name is Tatiana, actually had a dream that I was wearing blue and gold. And that was good enough for me. So when I found out she had this dream, and when they told me, I said, "All right, God, I'll take that." I literally went and applied to every school that had a Division I football program that was blue and gold. At this point, I was praying so much and I had so much faith. I said, "You know what, God? If I'm going to go ahead and redo this whole recruiting process and going to college for football, I might as well shoot for the best that you have for me." So I applied to every big time Division I football school that was blue and gold. Mind you, in the midst of this though, I had previously applied to a small school, a smaller Division I AA school, or a school that was basically smaller in football. And I had a dream from God. And he told me, or in the dream, I went to this school and I looked to the right and there was this big hill and I couldn't see past the hill. And Jesus told me that he had something for me far greater over the hill if I'd be willing to go that way. So after that dream, the next day I called up this school that wanted me to come. That was another smaller school for football. And I told them, I said, no, basically I ended the ties to that. And my mother looked at me again and she said, "Dozy, what are you going to do?" And I told her, I said, "Look, Mom, God has got me." So now, with a dream from a little girl in my church, I applied to every big time blue and gold school. I mean, I would work, pay for the applications, send them out, email the recruiting coaches for football, email them, send them out. Talk back and forth. I did it and I said, "God, you have to bless me. I am praying, I'm fasting, you have to bless me." Somebody from my church came and the minister, actually head minister of my church, Apostle Bernadine at the time, said, "I see 3 schools going to call you and going to accept you into their school." And sure enough, the first letter came in and it was actually from Kent State University. And I got accepted into Kent State. I said, "All right, God." I said, "That's the first school." I said, "All right, where's the other ones?" Next school came in was West Virginia University. I got accepted into. I'm like, "God, that's amazing." I'm like, "Jesus, we got this." I'm hyped now. Then the last school that came in was the University of Buffalo that happened to be in New York. Yeah, they're not blue and gold, but they blue and silver, so they kind of worked in there. And now, at the midst of all of this, praying through the entire summer, struggling, working 3 jobs, working out, I had 3 options of schools to go to. And I assumed I was going to walk on for football for all of them. I had emailed all these coaches and had been talking back and forth with them. Now the prayer had changed. It's amazing how God works. Now I'm over here thinking, God, which school do I go to out of the three? Which one do you want me to go to? So I go back and I ask my church again, look, pray for me. We need to find out which school God wants me to go to. Now I'm here. I'm praying and I'm waiting for God to respond. Waiting like, summer's coming. It's about time to make a decision coming up soon, and I have no idea who to go to. I'm leaning toward Buffalo because it's in New York. I'm emailing the football staff, Kent State, don't know which school to go to. And in the midst of this, my head minister, Apostle Milton, his birthday comes up. So I go to buy him a gift. And yes, I happen to go to Toys R Us. It's a thing. So I was buying him a gift for something that he had liked out there. And it turns out, listen to this, at the register, I run into somebody. He's like, are you Dozie Azima? And I'm like, yeah. I was like, I don't know you though. You know how New York is. I was like, I don't know you. He was like, well, I know you. And mind you, my family is known in the town for sports. And he's like, yeah, I know you. I know your family from playing football and stuff like that and sports around. And I was like, really? I was like, oh, that's really cool. He was like, yeah, I'm actually about to walk on and play football at West Virginia University. I'm like, bruh, God, I have been asking you what school to go to. This man is going to play for West Virginia University and walk onto the football team. I was like, God, guess what? I'm playing for West Virginia University now, and I'm going to walk onto that football team. Thank you for answering my prayer. Sure enough, I immediately connected him. His name was Kelvin Owusu. Great friend of mine till this day. So it's amazing how God worked that out. So now I'm like, hey, I'm going to West Virginia. I'm going to walk onto the football team. The summer ends. I get accepted to the school. It's going down. I'm like, all right, God, let's go ahead. I got accepted into school. Something is delaying with my financial papers. But I'm like, Lord, it doesn't matter. I got accepted. They haven't sent in my financial papers, but it's all right. We're good. We pack up the car. And in the midst of us packing up the car, the walk-on trial is set for a certain date. I think it was the second day of school. And he packs up the car to leave, and it turns out that something came up. I can't ride with him to school anymore. I'm like, hold on, wait a minute. He calls me up last second. He's like, look, sorry about it. Plans changed. We can't get you over to West Virginia with us. You'd have to get there on your own. Now I'm like, God, there's no way you got me this far. And I may end up missing the walk-on tryout if I don't ride with him. So something went through. Long story short, I ended up missing the walk-on tryout and missing my first few days of school. So I missed this walk-on tryout, right? I'm home now. School is going on. And I'm like, God, no, you took me too far. You got me in this far. I am going to play for West Virginia University. I'm over here on some, hey, you can't tell me nothing type faith. I go to my brother's house. Mind you, missed the walk-on tryout. I go to my brother's house and I'm like, no, I'm going to get on this team. Out of the spur of the moment, my brother happens to walk in and he is making a highlight tape on his MacBook. And I'm like, you know what? I'm like, no, we're going to make a highlight tape and we're going to send it out to one of the coaches I was talking to for West Virginia University. So that night, people, with 2 game films from me playing at University of New Haven for 2 years, I only ended up with 2 game films because the coaching staff was not happy that I left the school. And an all-star game that I played in high school. We made a highlight tape and we sent it to West Virginia University that night. And when we sent it, I said, God, this is a spur of moment highlight tape. I'm guaranteed, Jesus, I will make it. He will say yes, he will accept it, and I will be on this football team. On some crazy top faith. And sure enough, the next day he sent an email to me and said, I sent it to the defensive staff. They liked it. If you can come to the school and get it accepted into your classes, you'll be on the football team. I said, say no more, God. It's going down, Jesus. I'm about to be on this football team. Sure enough, people, I've never been to West Virginia University before in my life. Don't even know where West Virginia is on the map. I pack my bags. I take a big suitcase, hop on a Greyhound, and I leave to West Virginia University. Have never been there before. I remember the first day I pulled up, mind you, people, I do not have a place to stay. West Virginia was overbooked with dorms. They had their biggest class ever that year, and all the dorms and everything was booked up. But I said, God, what you thought this was? I'm not about to turn around and go back. And I remember vivid, plain as day, I was leaving to go take this bus to West Virginia University with my big suitcase, and my mom looked at me and she was crying at the door. And she said, Dozy, what are you going to do? You have no place to stay. Where are you going to get food from? What are you going to do? I said, Mom, do not worry about me. God has got me. Went on that Greyhound bus, went hours to West Virginia University, from New York to West Virginia. I got out that bus stop, had no idea how I was going to get to school from the bus stop. Ended up meeting some random people. They took me to the school. And mind you, my friend who I had met at Toys R Us, who was walking onto the same West Virginia football team, was at the school. So I went to the school and I texted him and I said, hey, look, can I at least spend the night? Just give me a few days. I guarantee you I'll find a place to stay. I had no idea where I was going to stay. I just knew God was going to have to do something. So I ended up at this school, and I'm over here. I talked to the school, and I'm looking for a place to stay now. I'm trying to get into classes, and I go to the financial office, and they ask me a very valid question. And mind you, people, if you understand me, you know that I don't really know football like that. I never watched it like that. I didn't know if West Virginia, Kent State, or Buffalo was better than the other. I don't watch football like that. I just play it. I just do what God told me to do. So I'm at West Virginia now, and I don't even really understand the fullness of a walk-on. And the financial staff is asking me, are you a walk-on? All the teachers that I'm trying to get in class with, they're asking me, am I a walk-on? I'm like, no, I'm a transfer. I transferred into this school. I'm not a walk-on. In my ignorance, I had no idea that I was a walk-on. I was like, I'm a transfer. I transferred in. I didn't do a walk-on tryout. If I had told them I was a walk-on, they would not have let me into the classes. It would not have worked out my financial paperwork. But because they thought I was a transfer who transferred in, which technically I was both, they immediately put me in classes. They immediately worked at my financial status because they figured I was an athlete who was a transfer into school. Yes, people love football that much. They will work for you. So I ended up getting to my classes, and I went and spent the night at my friend's house that night. And he said, where are you going to stay? What are you doing? I was like, look, I called people up. I went places. Everything is booked out. I said, don't worry about me. Just give me a day or two. I will find a place to stay. I had no idea where I was going to stay. But I knew that God was going to do something. I remember that night we stayed at their house. And it was about the second day I slept over. They ended up having this big party. Mind you, this is a house. It's 6 people living in a house. It's a 5-bedroom house. It's a big house, 5-bedroom house, 1 person in the basement, has their own living space. I was sleeping on a carpet floor in the upstairs area. And they had this big party downstairs. I mean, kegs, alcohol, you know it, everybody's drunk out their mind, partying. And I remember when I first walked to the house, I was like, this place is disgusting. Disgusting. I can't do this. It is disgusting. But I was like, hey, I'm lit. They let me sleep here for a little bit. I'll take what I have. After they had this big party, whatever it was, I was sleeping and I woke up early in the morning. And I knew God had just put in my spirit. He was like, get up and clean. And when I tell you, I stood in my bed and I just woke up and I was like, Jesus wants me to clean. I got up and I started cleaning. Just cleaning the house, cleaning the entire house. I mean, cleaning the floors, mopping the floors, sweeping everything, just cleaning it, cleaning the bathroom. It was just so disgusting. And I figured, hey, I'm cleaning for myself. This place is nasty. The people woke up and they were like, which were great friends of mine till this day. They woke up and they were like, you don't have to do that. Like, it's all right. You don't have to clean. And I'm like, no. I was like, don't even worry about it. I'm like, look, I'm just cleaning. Don't worry about it. It's the least I can do. They were so touched by me cleaning that the next day I told them, hey, I'm still looking for a place. They said, no, we don't want you to go anywhere. We want you to stay here with us. And I said, what do you mean? They were like, look, you're a great guy, you're cool. They was like, look, we want you to stay here with us. Not to clean, but to be as a friend. They felt like, hey, stay with us. Don't worry about it. We know you're on the football team. We know your situation. Just stay with us. And that's how I made some amazing friends in college. And by the way, my first year at West Virginia was amazing and insane. But that is how God brought me to playing big time football at West Virginia University. So I just want to encourage you from just hearing my testimony, my story time of how I ended up playing big time football. I want to leave you with this scripture, Psalm 37:23, that says, the steps of the righteous man are ordered by the Lord, and he delighteth in his ways. A lot of you out there have dreams, have visions, or God told you to do something, and you're afraid to take a leap, take a step of faith, or you just have no idea what's going to happen. You wonder about what people will think. But just like I did, I took a crazy leap of faith, and I took a crazy risk. I knew the only person I had on my corner was Jesus Christ. I had a praying church behind me who was following Jesus Christ at the end of the day. Let me tell you people, if you have a dream, if you have a vision, if you have a plan, go ahead and take that leap of faith. I have been from small time football to big time football to the NFL. I was brought in by Jacksonville. Let me tell you something. If God says it, go ahead for it. Take the risk. The righteous steps are ordered by the Lord. Take them. So I'm just going to pray for everybody out here who's afraid to take a risk, or who needs to take a risk, or who's in your risk now. I pray that God will seal you, protect you, and have you achieve the goal that you need to in your life. Father, I speak over every man and woman, Father, that's taking this risk for you, Father. Everybody that needs some crazy faith, some unimaginable, impossible faith, that can't see the ending, can't see what's going to happen. Father, I pray you give it to them. Father, I pray you don't only have them feel it, but you will work it out physically for them. God, just as you did for me, Father, I pray you did for them, God. Just as you showed me that you had better for me, Father, I pray you show people that are aiming too low, that you give them better. God, I pray you change every mindset that shoots too low, every mindset that feels comfortable. Father, I pray you stir people up. You make faith that is unmovable, God. I'm talking about an imaginable, righteous, can't stop me, won't stop me, nobody's going to touch me faith. God, I pray that you will bless people and answer their dreams, answer their decisions, answer the harsh desires that they've had to do, answer the calling that you put on their life from young. God, in Jesus' name, I speak encouragement and I pray for blessings. Everybody, catch me next week on Falling Forward, episode 8, people. I'll see you next time.